Hello folks, this is Audiotron 1003 and I've been asked to make a special video on how to make my Funfair Micro dodgems style ride. The request has come from a fellow YouTuber called Fraser Trains and Star. Now he wanted me to show him how I made this simple ride. Bearing in mind this is a micro scale type ride that's based on the Funfair wagons that I've been making. But unusually, he wants me to help him out, so I'm happy to do so. And this is the ride that breaks down onto the wagons and can be reconfigured into a kind of a racing kind of ride. So basically what I have is I have, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 1x8s with which are plates where they have 1x2 trans-color plates for lights, and I call these light bars. Now for some reason Lego don't seem to make green as 1x2, so they're 1x1s. I also have 32 2x4 yellow tiles, well actually 30 because the other two are blue, and a couple of stickers that were custom made for me by a company called Sticky Business. So that's what they are, and that's the name of the ride, Maglev Riders. Also, there's 16 of these 2x8 green plates. There's the rest of them. And there's a 4x4 and two 2x1s. There's red plates here. We have two 1x8s, four 1x6s, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 2x6s. Now these are basically color coded, so these will be the foundations. These will form a plate which will be 16x16, and they go on top of these, and then finally these will go on top of everything else with these in the middle. These are the micro scale cars, and I've broken one down, so it's a 2x4 plate. In this case it's black, two double cheese slopes, one 2x1 panel for the seat, and a 2x1 trans color plate for the lights. So basically that one's blue, this one's orange, and I suspect this one will be blue. So they're just the lights for the back of the cars. So my plan is, because I don't have a tripod, so what I'll do is I will build this in stages and then show you how I've done it. So the first thing I do is I will line up all of these plates to form a 16x16 plate, and then underneath those I shall place these strategically to tie all this together, and also allow overhang to put my light bars. So that's what I'll do first of all. Okay, I've lined the plates up, and there they are in 2 rows of 8. I've strategically placed the red plates in such a way that everything is tied together. I've left a gap because this is where my steps are going to go. So now the next thing I would do is I would turn this over, and I now have my 16x16 green plate. Now if anybody's asking why don't I just buy a 16x16 plate to begin with, well, that won't break down and fit onto the back of these micro wagons. So that is why everything you see in these little rides is meant to be packed down, and that's why I'm not using bigger things like this. If you was building this just as a standalone model without bothering with the vehicles, then of course you could do things differently. But this is why I've got all these small plates. So the next thing I would do is I would then put all of these tiles onto here. So what I'll do is I'll do that next and then show you the result. Okay folks, I've done that and I've aligned the plates, not plates this time, tiles, in such a way that they form a kind of a brickwork stretcher bond sort of pattern all the way round. And the reason why is because they need to sort of overlap these plates underneath. So that's why I've done it like this. Otherwise, it's not going to be very strong if you're doing it this way. And then in the middle, I've got my ride name. So the next thing I would do is position my steps. So in this case, I will put those, in this case, there. And then finally, actually I think I'll move that on one. So if I take that out, move this forward by one stud, and then with my two small plates, let's see the bed, sorry about that, building with one hand isn't what I normally do. So anyway, so there's my my steps. So now the next thing I would do is I would take these light bars and I would position them round the side. They serve as two purposes: one, to decorate the ride like lights do, and secondly, to form a kind of a wall to stop the cars from going over the side. So once again, I'll pause the video and do that. So now the light bars have been added. I've sort of decorated the sides like so, to act like I say as a wall and also as a decoration. So that's why I had these overhangs to the sides of the green plates, so that I could anchor the wall there. Now no matter how hard you try, you're going to have a gap somewhere, so I don't like having a gap. So what I've done is I've taken just something random and I've made myself a little light feature, but it's not necessary. You could in fact just fill that space in with a couple of lights if you wanted to. So that's basically this complete. So the last thing to do is to show you the car. So what I'll do is I'll build it. So there's my plate. So very simple. There's the light. This wedge, cheese wedge, goes there. There's your seat. Then this goes here. And then finally at the front. Now I'm aware of the scale with these things, but it's Lego and there's not much I can do. So so I've had to do the best I can. But the other thing about these is, because of my fairground lorries or wagons, I can stack them like this and it takes up less space. So basically these things can fit on here. There's the other two, so one there. And I kept with the traditional 4 bright colours, because at the end of the day this was my first ride that I ever designed, and so I kept with the basic colours. So that's my micro funfair dodgems. Now Fraser, you've asked for some advice because you're building a I think what you're trying to tell me is you're inspired to build a minifig funfair. If you're not bothered about the vehicles as such, then the advice I can give you is think of an idea that you see in reality in a funfair. For example, if you're going to do a dodgems, build the car with the minifigure inside, work out how many dodgems you want, and then scale up the base to the number of cars that you're going to use, and therefore build this up accordingly. If you're planning to build vehicles to put this thing on, then you have to think about the storage space and how big do you want to make, for example, the lorry. But if you're just going to build a funfair, you don't have to worry about that. So therefore you could quite simply just concentrate on the ride, think of an idea that exists, modify it for minifigures, and then just go with your imagination. So anyway, I hope this has helped you out. So thank you for watching. Bye.